Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the IceWorks Pub as we bring you another edition of the Aston Rebels Coach's Corner. Unfortunately, our head coach, Joe Coombs, running a little bit late, so we're going to have to switch things around a bit. And we'll start with the player spotlight as we bring in Drew Blackman and Frank Spellman. Guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Drew, we'll start out with you, 20 years old from Minneapolis. St. Paul Academy, put up some really good numbers in 2 years. 50 games total, 44 goals, 96 points. Talk about your experience there at St. Paul Academy.
It was a great experience. High school hockey is a very big thing in Minnesota, and it's a lot of fun to be able to play for your school, and you get a lot of students to come out, and you're supported very well, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, from there, you move on to the, see if I can pronounce this correctly, the Alberni Valley Bulldogs.
Yep, that's right.
In the British Columbia Hockey League, 6 goals, 57 games there. Seemed to be a step up of competition compared to Minnesota high school hockey, which is certainly among the best in the country. Yeah,
it was definitely a big step. It took a little while for me to mature and develop. It was a big change in lifestyle too as well. I mean, I moved out to Vancouver, first time being away from home, and just took a bit for me to adjust. But it was a great experience. I grew a lot. I learned a lot, and obviously I don't regret it. So.
Now here at the Rebels, solid season so far, 8 goals, 9 assists, 56 games. Talk about your experience moving from the west coast of Canada to the east coast of the United States.
It's been a great experience. I loved it out here. Everything about it out here is awesome. Love the coaches, love my teammates. It's been cool through junior hockey to be able to see a lot of places. Obviously, I've been from coast to coast, so I'm happy with the experience here, and hope to be able to enjoy it for as long as possible throughout the playoffs.
Now, growing up a Minnesota Wild fan, I'm going to assume?
Yep.
Now, back before the Minnesota Wild and after the Minnesota North Stars left, talking about Minnesota high school hockey, that was it as far as, I mean, yeah, you had the Gophers,
mm-hmm.
and you have the other college teams as well, but the high school hockey was nuts, still is nuts in high school, where you guys would get massive crowds, and for state finals, it would sell out the joint.
Yeah, it still does actually. The record attendance for the XL Energy Center where the Wild play now is for a high school game and not for a Wild game. So it's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. As we move on to Frank Spellman, 20 years old from Des Moines, Iowa. No NHL team nearby. So who'd you root for growing up?
The Blackhawks.
Is that the closest geographical team?
I mean, St. Louis is pretty close, but I always grew up a Chicago fan, to be honest.
Now, out of Shattuck St. Mary's, that program, 4 years, bounced between 3 different levels, 90 goals. Great numbers in a program, considering how high of a talent that goes to that school, and even potential NHL players. Before we got on the air, we talked about a couple of guys who you ended up playing with who are now moving on to higher and higher levels. Give us an idea of who you know.
My U16 year, I played with a pretty good team. We took second in nationals. Played with Nathan McKinnon, Taylor Camerata plays at Minnesota now, and then a few other guys that play in college. We had a really good team. We had a good coaching staff. We just we got a goal called back in the final game, and it cost us the championship.
And it's funny, that's years ago, 4 years ago or so, and that kind of thing still sticks, and it's probably going to stick with you. You'll have a great NHL career, but man, remember back when I was 16? Oh, it just kills me.
I mean, it comes back to haunt me every once in a while.
Now, in 2013, you get drafted in both the USHL by the Fargo Force and NAHL, Kenai River Brown Bears. You go the NAHL direction. How did that come about?
I didn't work out in USHL in Fargo, so obviously Kenai drafted me, so I was at training camp in Fargo and it didn't work out, so Kenai already started their season, so I headed up there and played a season with them.
Now talk about Drew going from out to Vancouver area. Now you go into Alaska, not exactly the city part of Alaska. This was Kenai River, way out of nowhere. I mean, describe to the fans out there what it takes to even get there and how rural of a place it really is.
Yeah, I mean, travel is, the guys experience it this year. The travel isn't easy. I mean, usually you fly out of Minnesota, you go to Seattle, and then you head over to Anchorage, and then they got twin prop planes that can take
puddle jumpers.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It's my first experience there was I flew on one of the little ones, and it held about 10 people or so.
Oh.
And it was windy out, and it was at night, and it got me going a little bit. And I was flying in at night, so it was probably midnight.
Is that where the captain, instead of going over the intercom, he just turns around and says, "Hey, we're gonna land now"?
It actually is. It actually is. It's open cockpit, to be honest.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Kenai was something different. They got one little road in Kenai. It's in a circle, and it's 16 miles long. That's your one road you got.
Now, when you play there, 7 goals, but the penalty minutes really exploded with 123. Did you have to play a different role there? Is that what that was about?
Yeah, I mean, coming in as a rookie, I thought it was my role, to be honest. Obviously, I would have done anything for the team. It just ended up being that way.
So then last year, solid season with the Architects Oilers in the Alberta Junior Hockey League, and then now here with the Rebels. 15 goals on the year, which is 5th on the team. Certainly a turnaround, again, going from a checking role to a little bit more of a power forward scoring role here.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, as time goes on when you play juniors, I feel like you learn the game a little more, and you can develop your skills and actually put up some points for after a couple years. I mean, you understand the game better, and Coach Coombsy's been awesome guy to work for, you know.
Now, both of you guys played at the Junior A level in Canada. Give us an idea. Everyone talks about major juniors, but again, there's plenty of levels in Canada as far as hockey is concerned. The Junior A level, compare that to the NAHL, and we'll start with Drew on this one.
Yeah, it's very comparable. I think in the league I played in, guys play with a little different style. It's a little more run and gun, not as much systems based as it is here. But I think the skill level is very comparable. I think our team would match up very well against teams out there. So it's a very similar league.
Frank?
I mean, there's nowhere near as much hitting in Canada. I'll tell you that. There's probably more skill, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think the game of hockey is played better in the North American League, to be honest.
All right. Interesting thought process there. One last weekend to go here in the NAHL, regular season division title in sight. Is that anything that motivates you guys? You're looking forward going, wait a second, one more win and we can put up a banner here.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something to play for. I think that first place through the regular season hasn't been something that's been completely on our minds throughout most of the season. I think we've been trying to kind of take it one game at a time and just and get better every day. But obviously it'd be something awesome to have. But I think we're more worried about the banner at the end of the year in May.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been sticking with the process all year, and you know, it'd be nice to be in first place going into the playoffs and get a little home ice advantage. But at the end of the day, what Drew said, it comes down to the end of the season, you know.
I'm assuming both guys looking forward to the playoffs and that kick up in intensity.
Absolutely, yeah. It's playoff hockey is a completely different game. It's a lot of fun, very intense, and you know, you're playing every other night, so it's an exciting time of the year. I'm very excited to play.
Yeah, I mean, it I don't know. People don't realize until they actually played in the playoffs, and it picks up big time. It doesn't matter who you're playing or what's going on, but yeah, it ramps up for sure.
Well, we're all looking forward to seeing you guys in the playoffs coming up in just a few weeks. But first, Friday night against New Jersey, and then Saturday in New Jersey to finish off the regular season. Drew Blackman, Frank Spellman, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck rest of the way.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll bring on the head coach, Joe Coombs, who has made his arrival here at the IceWorks Pub, and we'll finish off the show with him. So, again, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We'll be back with Joe Coombs as you continue to watch the Aston Rebels Coach's Corner. All saves by an Aston Rebels goaltender are brought to you by the Mike Costanzo Farmers Insurance Agency, where he can save you money on auto and home insurance. Just go to farmersagent.com/mcostanzo.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Are you hungry? Check out the Aston Pizza Company at 600 Convent Road in Aston for great pizza, cheesesteaks, hoagies, wings, sandwiches, stromboli, calzones, and more. Call 610-558-9292 for delivery or visit AstonPizzaCompany.com. Choice Clean Gear is the professional choice for cleaning of all types and brands of sports equipment. We use a patented, fully engineered cleaning system in our state-of-the-art facility that completely washes and sanitizes without damaging equipment like many front-loading wash systems. Best of all, we guarantee to have your equipment cleaned and on the way back to you in less than 72 hours. Visit cleanhockeygear.com today for more information. The Dragon Box is a smart TV box that streams in HD with no monthly fees or contracts. It will give you access to thousands of movies, TV, live sports, boxing, UFC events, and 3D movies, all in HD. Visit www.thedragonbox.com today. P&S Ravioli Company are makers of all-natural fine pasta since 1966. It has been voted Best of Philly and Reader's Choice Award winners. P&S has 5 local locations and is sold in your local supermarket. P&S's featured products include cheese ravioli, spaghetti, cheese cavatelli, jumbo stuffed shells, along with fine sauces to go with your pasta. And P&S ships all of its products in the continental United States. Order online at www.psravioli.com. Visit one of their 5 local locations or your local supermarket. P&S Ravioli, better than homemade. Welcome back, everybody. Once again, live from the IceWorks pub. As head coach Joe Coombs grabs himself a drink. Thanks so much for coming on, and hope everything's all right. Coming up a little bit late.
Yeah.
Everything's good? A little traffic here in Philadelphia?
Everything. Train.
That'll do it every single time. Well, we'll talk quickly about the this past weekend. Tale of two contrasting games. Split the weekend. A loss on Friday night, 4-0. Then a 5-1 win on Saturday. We talked after the 4-0 loss. You were obviously displeased. Considering how the team came out on Saturday, it seems like they got the message as well.
Was I displeased, though, Saturday? I think we were good. Yeah, it wasn't. I quite frankly thought it was probably maybe our most rotten game of the year. By everybody, I mean, we've had a couple of bad ones where there's been a handful of guys not being very good, but collectively, I really was trying to take the positive out of it, where every one of us were positively bad. So I think there was something to take off it, but they responded Saturday night, and this team all year long has done things the hard way, which I've trying to stop, but they have. I truly feel that we are the best team in the division, and it's not without work, but I think we are, and I think we've managed to give away some points here this year that we shouldn't have. Where now, to end up first in the East and win the East, we have to win one this weekend. Where, quite frankly, I mean, you look back at 2 overtime losses to Wilkes-Barre. I'm just using them as an example because they're a good team, but there's 2 points that quite frankly we've given away. So just a small example, but nonetheless a one that we've really tried to learn from, and we still seem to be stumbling at times. But 8-2-2 in our last 12. To finish, at least if our worst we can be 8-4-2 to finish our year. So I don't think that's a bad finish.
Someone walks up to you on the street and says, "Hey, you're going to go 8-4-2 in your last bunch of games." You'd probably take that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. I've been thinking about that for a couple of days. So, going into Friday night, I think we were 7-1-2. Josh Brown had said to me, Josh is very statistic oriented and does a lot of, not analytics by any means, but he's always on top of that stuff. And he said, when we score first, we're like 25-5. And it didn't take very long for us to be down 1-0, and I'm like,
Oh, here we
here
go.
we go.
What is it when we're down 1-0?
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I know that. So I think we were 10-12, and I'm not too sure what the numbers were, but we score first. We seem to be a much better team. So I was looking forward to score first on Friday, and we surely got off to a quick start on Saturday with 3 in the first 2:49 or whatever it was.
It was very quick, and you have Ryan Cousin picking up the hat trick in that one, 4 points altogether. Heck of a game for him, and that entire line of Cousin, Garcia, Marula seems to really stepped up to be your number one line. Even if they're not listed as number one on the sheet, they have seemed to be the one line that really has gelled together extremely well. At least offensively.
You know what they have. I mean, I remember getting both of them early in the year. Obviously I was familiar with Mr. Cousin from last year in Corpus Christi, and I understood and knew that he could really run a power play, and that was the big reason we went to get him, was to help our power play, which he has, and then Mike Marula, not too much longer, became available, and knowing what I knew of Mike and his ability to be a top 6 forward, more or less a top 3, but a top 6 forward was the other reason. And Dom Garcia at the time was quite frankly was really in and of our lineup, trying to find his place, one on our team, but find his own niche, and he's done way more than just that. He's an exemplary player, both on and off the ice, and his work ethic is absolutely fantastic. And I won't say he's the engine that makes them go, but he surely has a lot to do with it. He gets an awful lot of loose pucks for those kids, and their guys play off hips, and they want loose space, and he's a guy that creates that space for them, and he's done a very nice job. And of course they can both make plays and feed off one another, and it's been a nice mix.
Now, Johnstown certainly did get their chances, especially on the power play. You allowed just 1 power play goal on 7 chances. Certainly don't want to cut a rut to the penalty box, but it's shown that this season the Rebels do pretty well as far as being down a man. That right now you guys are, I believe, at 7th in the league. Was even better than that earlier in the season. But once the playoffs start, it really starts to shrink, and some reason the power plays really start to get a whole lot better in the playoffs. That's something I'm assuming you guys are going to be really, really careful about.
Well, it's I know my past, and we've typically me being part of the most penalized team in the league isn't new, but being the least penalized team in the playoffs is something that we've taken a lot of pride in over the years, and I know it's something that I was not happy in particular about that as the weekend went on. Johnstown's a team, they're physical. They, for a team that got beat 5-1, they sure had a lot to say. You're not winning, shut your mouth and go to your box and play the game. And, and then we get our sticks up a little bit, and then we end up going to the penalty box, and we took too many. We can't expect, I think if we're around 4, we have a chance to be perfect. But anything more than 4, and it's going to go in your net, and that's just the laws of
even a bad power play is going to score that many
right.
times.
And when you give a team 6-7 chances, it's going in your net no matter how good it is. And there's just been too many games. It's almost like we have too many, or we don't even get to 4. Or we're at 4, and the ones we were more than 4, we get in trouble, and there's just been too many of them this year to, I'm not real, obviously 7th in the league ain't bad, but I'd surely think top 5 would be a lot better, and there's no reason we shouldn't be there other than we've taken too many.
Now, a solid game for Trevor McCucci on Saturday, 22 saves, his first start in a couple of weeks. He did a very good job of staying fresh, considering Darren Hansen had a number of starts in a row.
You know what he did? We Friday night, obviously, we didn't have the answers for our team as a staff, and I don't think they had any either. But I thought about it after I think it was the 3rd goal, maybe. And there was a minute and a half or 2 minutes to go in the 3rd, and in the 2nd, I just we'll put him in. I didn't talk to Pete about it, or didn't talk to Brownie. I just did it, and I didn't think at that time. I thought if there's any jump or anything that we could get out of it, it was now, and give him 15 minutes to prepare for going in the net. And I thought Friday night that he looked like he had some rust, but the way that he played on Saturday, he surely knocked the rust off. So I was pretty happy with that, that's for sure.
Now we're down to the end. All that's left is a home against New Jersey. Regular season titles in sight, as you mentioned before. All you need is 1 win, and you guys are number 1 seed in the playoffs. Again, the banner is great, number one seed in the playoffs is probably that much more important. You get the home ice for the first 2 rounds, and well, you guys would be the kind of the favorites to leave the division and head to the Final Four.
Well, we've talked all year long that it's a process, and I'm surely not somebody that talks a lot about end results. I mean, I love the end result. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anybody that it doesn't. That's why we compete, is you want to win, and losing sucks. But it's a process, and I thought today we were okay. Brownie was really happy with today, which probably made me happier for him to tell me that. But we need to be better tomorrow, and we got a lot of work to do, and we got some more to do on Thursday, and we're home Friday night. They've played well here. They're coming off not a great trip. What did they get? They got 3 points of a possible 8.
Yes.
I know Rich well enough to know he's not happy, and I know he's driving that team over there. They're coming home. I'm sure that they're ecstatic to land on the lower 48, as I was when I got back from there. But it's going to be a hockey game, and I know this is important to them, and as it is us. And at the end of the day, we just prepare and put our best foot forward, and what happens. But there's nothing wrong with being first. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's we got our work cut out for us. I mean, you look at, we finished first. We got Wilkes-Barre, where we just left too many points this year on the table against that team. They've played us. I don't know if to say that we've played them well or we've played them poorly. Maybe a combination. But we've surely left some points on the table. We've came ill prepared a few times. They've got down early. We came back. The last time we were in there, we're down 2-0, and next it's 2-2, and then we lose in a shootout. Our start killed us. And obviously in playoff hockey, our playoffs are going to be very similar to our year. It's that simple. It doesn't change that much. I watch this news. I have it in the background here with the Washington Capitals, and you know what? They're going to have a good playoff. Can they get beat? Sure they can. But they're going to be good. They've been good all year. There's no reason for them not to be. And our situation's the same. There's been times we've been really, really solid. There's other times where, we've struggled. And, I don't see that changing. I wish I could. Mm-hmm. I wish I could say, yeah, we're going to go in and tear it right up. And it's going to be a process, and it's going to be really hard. I mean, at Wilkes-Barre alone, it's going to go 4 or 5. There's just no, in my mind, I'm not giving them a way out. But this is playoff hockey, and nothing worth having is you're going to get it for free. You got to earn it, and we're going to have to earn it. Yeah,
and I'll be honest with you. After seeing all 4 teams, my opinion is all 3 series, the 2 semifinals and the 1 final, in the East, they can all be very tight. They can go every single way. Sure. So if you're not a fan, biting your fingernails, you're going to enjoy the heck out of this.
Yeah, for sure. And, I look down at, I'm familiar with the South and know what's going on down there, and it's no different. I mean, the other 2 divisions are the same as us, other than, Fairbanks has just run away with it because they've had Kenai 18 times. But, but that other division, I mean, anybody on any, guys are getting swept, and then the next weekend they're sweeping, and, it's their kids, and they're young men. They're not adults, and they surely don't make millions of dollars for a living. We have a team right here in our backyard that has some inconsistencies too, and I know it frustrates me a lot, but at the end of the day, I had a great boss one time that told me, hey, they're kids and they're gonna make mistakes, and I try to remember him as often as possible, and the words of wisdom he always told me, and I do. There's days that I don't, but there's days I do. But it's going to be tough. We're going to earn our way, and I've won enough times in my life to know that's what makes winning so rewarding. Is it's not it's getting through the downs that make it rewarding, not getting through the ups. And we're going to have some downs, and that's just part of where we're at as a team and what lies ahead. If there's nothing easy in this world.
Well, once this weekend is over, you'll get a good 2 weeks off, which is kind of a rarity before the playoffs, just a quirk in the schedule.
Ridiculous, though, isn't it, Tom?
What's that?
Ridiculous, though, isn't it?
I'll have to agree with you on that one. But you guys, that's the situation. So after this weekend is over, is it? I'm not saying you take that first week off, but you kind of take it, a little bit slow, and just to keep the conditioning from going a little crazy.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we'll probably have a couple days of fun. We are going to practice probably Wednesday, Thursday at a hopefully of extremely high pace. And then we're even talking about maybe playing a little game maybe with some local guys, local good players. I don't mean that derogatorily towards Joe DiMarino or anything out here. But we're going to put together a little something, I think, on Friday. We'll see. It'll be through the day. I got to get with Stefan here over some ice time. And then Saturday we're going to have another little do something. I think we're going to go downtown Philly, enjoy the day, give them Sunday off, and then come back to work and get a full five days of preparation.
Much as you would for any other regular season.
We would. We lately have been taking a lot of Mondays, real low-key Monday, whether it's been some 5-on-5, whatever. It's been low-key. And this is, we got a lot to prepare for, and they'll be more prepared, and the attention to detail will be there more than ever come a week Monday, and lots to go over in pre-scouts and players and just all kinds of little things. So we'll have a busy week that week leading up to Friday night here at home.
Well, still got some work to do this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us once again on the Coach's Corner, and best luck this weekend, and we'll see if you guys can bring home a banner. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be. Thank you very much.
You got it. Well, that'll do it for us. So remember, fans, Friday night, Rebels are here at home for the last time in the regular season. Fan Appreciation Night, as well as the Rebels take on the New Jersey Titans. We'll be handing out player awards, also every fan in attendance while supplies last. They pick up a team photo brought to you by J.R. Peck Construction. And again, that's Friday night, 7 p.m. over on Rick number 1 here at IceWorks. On next week's Coach's Corner, I'll be joined by head coach Joe Coombs once again. It'll be Ryan Solomon and Ryan Kuzin coming along as part of the Players Spotlight.
Chicken wings are a discount that night.
That's an inside joke, apparently. I don't know if we want to.
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
All right, fans. For all of us here at the IceWorks Pub and Grill, thanks to Drew Blackman, Frank Spellman, and, of course, Joe Coombs, the head coach, for being on the show. Thanks to everyone here at the IceWorks Pub for helping us get on the air as well. This is Tom Wilm saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. And come out to the game on Friday night. You're not going to want to miss it.
Aston Rebels fans.
So I told my wife, I'm not taking out the trash. I'm going to the game.
Loyal and strong.
I told my family to drop the video controllers. We're going to the game.
Even defiant.
I called my boss and told him I was out sick.
Join the rebellion with the excitement and family fun of Aston Rebels ice hockey.
He shoots!
Get your tickets now at AstonRebels.com and check us out on Facebook.
Oh, jeez, my boss is here.
Hide me!
Aston Rebels ice hockey will make a Rebel fan out of you. Proud members of the North American Hockey League. Go to AstonRebels.com.